friends. Welcome to Sudipta's tarot based on inner guidance after a long time. Um, so I'm not going to go into why it took me such a long time to upload another video. It's something that I cannot avoid. So let's not talk about that. Rather than focus that, let's just focus on the today's reading. So as usual, I'm actually happy to come back to you all again and to come up with this new reading. And I hope really that you can take something out, from this new reading. So this is all about finding out what's the rest of 2025 will um, uh, holds out for each one of us. So each of this group will talk about, how the rest of 2025 will unfold for you. I'm doing this, in July, early July of 2025. So we have like almost 6 months still, remaining for 2025. And I don't know if how many of you have realized this, but 2025 is turning out to be quite a critical year. Lot of things are unfolding, in the world. You can see a lot of conflicts happening in the world. There'll be um, and you can see this, you may be seeing the same kind of conflicts happening in your inner life or in your surroundings. And that's because 2025, if you add those numbers, that year number is comes out to be 9. So it's 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus, I mean, sorry, it's 2 plus 2 plus 5. So it's 9. 9 is a very significant number. 9 talks about learning. What kind of learning? Not just the kind of learning that you get in schools and colleges. No, it's about much deeper learning. It's about much higher learning, where it teaches you about life. What kind of lessons you can gain from life, and this kind of learning makes you stronger, makes you wiser. Makes you see life in a different light. You know, and so that's the 2025 is all about that. So it's all about hardships, different kind of hardships, different kind of challenges, inner and external challenges, and and the challenges can be different depending on your different context, your surroundings. But it's all about challenges and how you face the challenges and what you learn out of those challenges. Each challenge is not meant to break you down, but it's meant to make you strong in some way or the other. So that's what this reading is all about. How you can, it's going to talk about some unique set of challenges that each of you may be facing, in these different groups, and what is waiting for you and how things are likely to unfold in this next 6 months, right? Or in the remaining portion of 2025. I hope definitely you find this reading helpful, and you can as a and you can rely on this reading to guide you further, right? So as usual, you have 4 groups in front of you. You can either choose by the picture that you are drawn to most, or you can choose by the crystal that you are drawn to most, right? And you can go by the gut feeling and gut instincts. So this is group number 1. You have the Dalmatian jasper, right? This is group number 2. You have the green aventurine crystal, right? You have the group number 3. You have the howlite crystal, and then finally you have the group number 4, all right, in which is you have the clear quartz, right? So this one talks about patience. This one talks about truth. This one talks about material and spiritual prosperity, and this one talks about wisdom. But don't just go by those writing, basically just see what you are drawn to, which group, either by the picture or by the crystal. And then that will be a group. And as usual, once you've selected your group, if you go down in the description box, if you click on your group specific reading, I'll meet you over there. So once again, hope you find this useful, and I'm glad to be back with you. Hello, group number one. For those of you who have chosen this Dalmatian Jasper, we'll see what's waiting for you in the next few months in the second half of 2025. If let me see if I can give you some guidance and what universe is channelizing for you. So I think group number one, your reading starts with two very interesting cards, right? You have the patience card over here, and then you have the awareness card over here. This has come out reversed. Now, if you look at the two cards, if for a moment I turn it upright, both the cards have something interesting, and that's catching my eye straight away. Is that both of them are showing something, this connection between you and the universe, and your higher chakra opening up, your Sahasrara in yogic terms, Sahasrara, or your fontanel chakra, it's opening up, and you see something, also here, also same thing, something coming out, something sprouting from your, from your mind, from your higher chakra, and it's like you are opening up to receiving something from the universe, right? You're opening up. See this, this connection with the universe, with all the cosmic mind being established. Same over here. Now, just to start with, when I see this, it just gives me like, this group who have chosen this group. You are a bunch of people who wants to this, and then you have this card over here. Basically says nothing, right? Empty. Now, when I look at this card and this two card, it just straight away tells me you are a bunch of people who can make anything out of life, right? So you have that capability. You are a creative branch. And by creative, I just don't mean people, who are good in writing, or who are good in painting, or who are good in playing some instrument. Creative in that's not only creative in that sense. No, that could very well be the case with you, right? I'm not discounting that possibility. That's also creative. But creative also in a larger sense, where you can create anything out of your life, right? You have that power, you have that capability to make anything out of your life. That's why it has come out, this card has come out, empty. It means you are like a blank canvas. And a painter can paint anything on that canvas. It's up to the painter's imagination, up to the painter's skill, what the painter turns, brings out of that empty canvas. So you are an empty canvas at the moment. And what you make out of your life, that's totally dependent on you. And it looks like you have that power to make that higher connection with the universe, to open yourself up to receiving messages, to get inspiration. And and again, as I said, you could be also a creative bunch, in a restricted sense, where where you are channelizing messages. So you could be like writers, painters, composers, and any kind of creative field. You could be very, you could be very good in, you may have very good psychic abilities. You may be a bunch of people who are healers. You may well do very well, in taking up like something like a tarot reading, psychic, anything related to like, understanding the human psychology, right? Because you have these two cards, and then you also have this High Priestess. Even this has come out reversed. But the very fact that this has come out along with this awareness card and this patience card, and even High Priestess is known to be someone who's very divinely tuned, who's tuned to the universe, who's very psychic abilities. Now, the very fact that this has come out and this has come out, now again, this too has come out reversed. So that just says that you are not there yet, right? And you may have to put in some work. And I think that's what's going to happen for you in the coming months of 2025. But you have that capability. That's why, it's showing patience over here. That means, you have to have that patience. And, you also have this card over here, the Earth. That shows grounding, right? So I get the distinct feeling, right? This is the time for this second half of 2025 is the time where you need to ground yourself, right? And see, this grounding card has come next to this card over here. It says mouse, right? And what does it say over here? It says you are overlooking some important details. So pay closer attention to what's going on, right? And also, so that means, this is the time to retrospect. This is the time to think. This is the time to plan out your future, right? It's because you have that capability, right? Again, look at this card, right? You have that capability, but now is the time to basically ignore whatever is not important in your life, right? Shade out whatever is not important in your life. And again, if you look at this card and this card, it calls for physical body, grounding, nurture, cultivate. And then you have this card over here. It's talking about that, the biblical story. It's referring to the biblical story, that proverbial apple that Adam and Eve, ate, the forbidden fruit. And it clearly says temptation will test you. So this is the time for you for very careful introspection, because you are clearly a bunch of people who has a lot of capabilities. As I said, you are a people, waiting for that awareness to happen. A lot of psychic capabilities, a lot of creative capabilities, people of very great intuition, intuitive power, right? But to fully awaken that, what you need to do is ground yourself, stay away from temptations, right? Carefully plan your life and see what are the priorities, what direction your life is pulling you towards, what is important for you right now. Stay away from distractions, stay away from temptations, right? Gather your energy, channelize your energy properly, right? So because if you look at these three cards, you have the awareness card coming out reversed, you have the high priestess card coming out reversed, you have the death card. I'm going to come to this death card a little later. But you have the death card coming out reversed, and then you have the ace of cups coming out reversed. And again, these are all very deeply, meaningful and significant. Now, this has come out reversed. Okay, that's fine. That means, you still have some work to do. But the very fact, these are extremely powerful cards that have come out reversed. That means you have it in you. And again, if you look at the Ace of Cups, it's like, someone is pouring your cups or offering you a full cup. But the cup, it's come out reversed. That means the fulfillment of that cup is not yet done, or the cup is not full yet, or you are not still seeing that cup. And again, I think that's what talks about over here. You are overlooking some important details. Maybe the universe is offering you some opportunity that you're ignoring. Maybe some doorways are opening up. Maybe one or more doorways are opening up for you, but you are not paying attention because you are right now too distracted or too tempted by other things that may not be important for you right now. So also I would say be very careful of the kind of company you maintain, because the kind of association, the kind of company can also be either very helpful or can lead you down the wrong way. Be very careful of company, time management, energy management, what kind of association you have. Be very careful of those because the coming month, because you have, again, universe is ready to offer you something. And again, this talks about, that's what I said at the very beginning, right? You are clearly meant for something greater, some greater awareness, right? Where, universe is ready to offer you something. You're ready to channelize something from the universe in different form, either in healing, in some creative field, in some psychic, some field related to some psychic ability, great psychic ability, wherever it requires you to make that connection. It's like, you are a medium in some sense, right? And a medium can either channelize messages in the form of, poetry, art, music, or a medium can also channelize the divine love in the form of healing, nurturing, care, like nursing, doctors, healers, like tarot readers, astrology, right? So anything that requires you to connect with the larger universe, with that cosmic mind, and channelize that love or channelize that message from the cosmic, the cosmic being, and pass it to the greater world, humanity. I think that's what you are, right? So again, it's a very bunch of very powerful people. You have come in with a gift, but you are not yet being able to fulfill that gift because again, as I said, you are too distracted. You are missing something obvious. You are missing that full cup that's being offered to you. You're missing opportunities. You are not introspecting carefully. You are not planning carefully. That's why lot of need for grounding is required. Grounding, nurturing, cultivating, preserving your energy. Right? If you look at this card over here, that's the same thing is coming up. Hydrate. Maybe you're getting too stressed. Maybe you're getting too unduly stressed. And again, hydrate means, and I get the feeling that you are wasting your energy, in meaningless pursuits, right? Either wasting your energy in parties, in trivial activities, in going around with friends, in meaningless indulgences. And that's taking away your energy and time. See, the other thing is, now I'm come to the death card. See, you have the death card coming out reverse, and the death card talks about transformation. So again, the transformation is not happening. And again, it's a very deep transformation, because when that happens, that's going to help you connect with the universe. That's going to make you what you are, what you meant, what you have come over here. Again, that blank canvas is waiting for the artist to make something out of. And here the artist is I think, that divine entity you can call God, you can call Jesus, you can call, Ram, Krishna, whatever it is. But that universe, that higher power is waiting to make something out of you. Because you have that, power inside you. He or she or the greater mind has infused that power within you. But, you are not letting that artist bring out the full picture because you are distracted. That's why the transformation is not happening, right? And see, what's interesting is this is the death card, and right below the death card, here you have got the Pluto. Now Pluto is supposed to master over the nether world, the world of the dead, and it's supposed to. And if you see, here also it's showing the skulls, and here also you're seeing the skull signifying death. Now, Pluto is the master of, that nether world. So you're supposed to go, again, it talks about that Lord of transformation. So that you are being asked to transform yourself, right? And you see over here the Leo, symbolizing great power, lion, right? Great energy, right? So again, if you look at this Leo, the great energy, if you look at these two cards again, if you look at the High Priestess, the Ace of Cups, these are all very, very powerful cards. And they just goes on to show that what you have come to do, what you are meant to do, but what you are not really fully looking at or paying attention to. Right? You're overlooking some important details, right? Because you are being distracted. And again, if you look at other things, again, you have this community card. Right? See, over here, this also talks about, you can see this mother giraffe nurturing the baby giraffe. Right? This is very, very important card. If you look at this one, and if you keep this one side by side with this one, if you remember what I had told you earlier while I was discussing this Ace of Cups, it's like universe is giving you something. Universe is offering you a full cup. Right? You don't even have to, do a lot. Universe is already offering you something. It's already within you. That package, the package is already within you. You have to just unwrap that package, right? So that's why the universe is already offering a full cup. And if you see over here also, you are like this baby giraffe. Right? This is that universal being. This is that cosmic mind, right? The divine, who's already nurturing you. Who's already given you something that like just like the mother nurtures the baby. Similarly, that universe is already passing on the food, the nourishment. Again, if you look at over here, what I said over here, right? Again, that making that connection is waiting to happen. This is the universe is passing on messages, right? Passing on the love, right? passing on the creative power to you. So you are a great medium. You are a great with a lot of psychic abilities, lot of intuitive power. People, healers, nurturers, doctors, counselors, writers, creative people. Lot of it. So the universe is clearly, this is very important. Right? So don't let that gift go waste. Pay careful attention, ground your energy, use your energy positively. And if you look at this one, the Knight of Wands, this comes from the Before Tarot. Now in before, so this shows the state prior to what you get in the traditional tarot deck. In the traditional tarot deck, you have this knight, like, basically galloping along, right? Has already made the start. Now here it is showing the knight is still thinking, right? The horse is still not ready to charge ahead. That's what comes next in the traditional tarot deck, right? So that means it's implying that, this is the time for you to think. And again, remember what I said earlier at the very beginning. This is the time for you. Take this rest the next 6 months or the rest of 2025, And this year is also very symbolic because 2025 equates to 9. And 9 means higher learning. 9 means that, that wisdom. So gather this time to, basically to gather your thoughts, plan out, preserve your energy, stay away from useless and meaningless pursuits, bad association, unnecessary distractions, right? Think carefully, introspect, so that then maybe in the next year or maybe later part of this year, you can ready to charge ahead. Once you have set your goal, once you have decided, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what the universe has been offering me and I have been neglecting so far, right? This is what the universe has been offering me and I have been neglecting so far, right? Once we have discovered that, then charge ahead. Right? So this is the time for that introspection, that healing, and again, positivity. Stay away from all sorts of negativity. Any intoxications, any drugs, any bad associations, any bad sort of indulgences. It's strictly no for you. And again, this is the way of universe's affirmation. See, this is what I was referring to earlier. Yes, you have it in you. And now is the time for you. I also did some charms. I picked up some charms for over here for this group, right? This is like a random charms I picked up. And I did this before. And if you look at it over here, it's very interesting, right? See, first of all, this is a tortoise, right? The moment we think about tortoise, we think about slow, steady, which is good, right? Also, the very next to tortoise, you have, the cycle, and then you also have the horse. Now, the tortoise and the horse and the cycle doesn't really go along, right? Because when you think about tortoise, it's more slow and steady, whereas the cycle and horse signifies more speed, right? That means, again, remember what I said over here with regard to this Knight of Wands before tarot. Be like a tortoise now. Think that, be steady. Set your goals. See what you are missing. Make yourself ready. Right? Stay away from distractions. Ground your energy. Right? Use your energy wisely. Invest energy, money, and time wisely right now. Right? Then, once you are ready, right? Once you've set your goals, once you know what you have been missing so far, then race ahead, charge ahead like a horse or like a cycle. Charge ahead. Right? And then very interesting, very, very interesting. You see, this is what I had told about, this gift box. If you see, this is a gift box, right? This is a gift, like a something wrapped, in a gift package. This is you. Remember what I had told earlier? You are like a, like that gift wrapped in a box. God has already packaged a lot of, good quality skills in you. But you have not unwrapped that box. You have not recognized yourself. You are not unwrapped your true identity or your true set of skills. That's why it is like still a blank universe. It's like a blank canvas. This is the time for you to unwrap this box and see what has God packaged within you. And again, and that's why once you have unwrapped that, once that, all your qualities start pouring out, then there's no stopping you. Then it's yes. It's a firm affirmative yes. That you can do a lot, you can achieve a lot, right? You can paint whatever you want on this canvas. You are what you can make out yourself to be. It's totally in your hand, right? Because this is interesting, because sometimes there are a lot of people who, no matter what they do, they don't taste the success, and the universe seems to place a lot of obstacles on their path. Not with you. Once you have come over that obstacle that you're setting for yourself, then there's no stopping you, right? You are your greatest obstacles right now. Once you have gotten over yourself, or your own limited view about yourself, your ability in your once you have sidestepped all distractions, and you have grounded your energy, you have set your goal, and you're ready to charge ahead, then there's no stopping you, right? And see, you have the rose. The moment we think of rose, what we think of? We think about love, right? People, lovers, offer a rose to each other, right? Valentine's Day. That's the normal symbology, right? Again, what does this mean? The rose and this gift box, or this gift, wrapped, nicely wrapped. What does it mean? It's the universe's love. The universe has a lot of love and affection for you, and the universe has prepared you nicely. Has packaged all that important skills and qualities within you. So don't neglect that love, right? Think carefully and then charge ahead. Don't neglect that love. Don't let that your skills and abilities go waste. Very, very powerful, very, very good, and important. Beautiful reading. I really feel privileged to do this reading for you guys, because you are a special lot, right? It's just about, and again, finally, this is the page of one. If you see this page of one, and if you take this yes card, look at the vibrancy, look at the joy in both their face. It's like finally they have discovered who they are. Finally, they have realized what they were ignoring so far, their true potential, their true identity, right? And now, they are joyous, they are one with the universe, right? They have realized that love, and the inner qualities, the inner power. This is what you are meant to be, right? This is what you are meant to be. Lot of psychic abilities, lot of healing qualities, lot of creative abilities. But again, as I said, these three cards, the awareness, death, and the high priestess, very, very powerful, but all reversed. They are waiting for you to turn them upright. By the end of 2025 or in 2026. And again, remember, 2025 is number 9. This is the time for you to introspect, learn, become more wise, right? Assess your situation. 9 leads to 10. 9 leads to completion. Higher learning leads to fulfillment. That's what 10. That's what the next year is coming for you, right? So that's why this year is a very critical year, going to be very critical year for a lot of us. Where we are going through this learning, right? Self-discovery. So this is a very important message for you, group number 1. So I hope you will pay attention to this, and you will do the necessary homework on yourself, so that beautiful picture emerges out of this blank canvas, and people can really make use of the service that you have to offer, like as healers, as very creative people through your beautiful creative works, as doctors, maybe as someone who can go into the psyche of others, through tarot, through astrological readings. Whatever you do, I feel like the universe or the humanity can really benefit from that, right? So keep that in mind, and a lot of good wishes for you. For now, I take your leave. Thank you so much. Bye. Hey, group number 2, for those of you who have chosen this green aventurine crystal, we'll see what's waiting for you in the rest of 2025, and what you need to kind of be aware of, and how best you can make use of this rest of 2025. And again, I may have said this in the introduction. I think I would like to, even if I have said this in the introduction, I want to kind of go over this once again. Is that 2025 is a very critical year because 2025, when we add up those numbers, it comes to nine, number nine. And number nine talks about learning, and not only ordinary learning, but higher learning, something that makes you wise, something that makes you a more better person, a learning that you really take home something out of, you know, right? So, and I heard the same thing with group number one. They had a message, related to this higher learning, what universe is trying to teach you, what universe is trying to guide you towards. And I think the same applies for group number two, but in group number two is a little different. See, again, just like group number one, the very first two cards says a lot, right? If you take these first two cards, one says truth, number 20, right? And this one, it talks about heartache and loss. Heartache and loss, this has come out reversed, right? So if you, but if for a moment, if I turn this upright, if I keep them side by side, just look for this, look at it, both these cards, for a moment, right? What is the commonality between these two images? Right? It's very obvious, right? If you look at both of these images, it shows two person. Over here, one is kind of chained, it's kind of looks like, he's standing on a balance, right? Which straight away talks about, there's something disbalanced about his life. Because clearly, if you are standing on one side of the balance, then obviously the balance will be a little lopsided. It's not perfectly in balance. Because on one side there's more weight, and the other side there's less weight, right? But there's also these chains around, right? That gives me the sense of, some entrapment, feeling, trapped, feeling like caged, right? And here also, if you look, in both the cases, you have this darker, little bit more like a claustrophobic, grayish, not so bright surroundings where the persons are standing. And there's clearly a sense of claustrophobia. There's clearly a sense of entrapment, stagnation, feeling encaged in both the pictures. And in both the pictures, there's something to look ahead to, to look forward to. Here also this person is peering out and he's seeing this bright universe full of stars, full of inspiration. Stars signify inspiration. The bright universe full of life, full of vibrancy. Here also, if you see, she's standing with her back turned towards this bright universe. So she's feeling entrapped right now. She's looking down. She has this look of gloom in her face. Clearly, she's to her, she's feeling stagnated, claustrophobic, right? Her, entire world is like dark compared to all this brightness outside. Here also same thing, feeling caged, chained, disbalanced, right? But here also, there's a universe waiting outside that is full of life, full of brightness, full of inspiration, color, which you are ignoring at this moment. Right? And again, it talks about, so that's the truth, right? The truth is waiting outside, but you are not seeing that because, again, look at this, what it says. That this says everything, right? Because you are in some sort of a heartache, you are in some sort of a loss, right? And you have not yet come out of that. So this 2025 or the rest of 2025 is all about that. How you conquer that loss, how you conquer that heartache, and how you come out of that, right? Because there's a lot of brightness, lot of inspiration, hope. Things are waiting out for you. So for you, the life has not ended, far from it, right? But you are thinking that everything is down, everything is gone, everything is like, your life is all dark, there's nothing bright about, there's nothing to be hopeful about that, which is not at all truth, which is the farthest from truth. But that's what you are thinking right now, right? So you need to realize that truth. You need to, for you, the truth is, you have something to look forward to. That is the truth. This is not the truth. The way you are discovering yourself. Again, look at the very next card, you have this Four of Swords. If you look in the traditional tarot deck, Four of Swords, it's come out reverse. Four of Swords talks about again rest, that mental tranquility, right? That and from tranquility comes clarity. If you are continually at war with yourself, if you're feeling already full of, surrounded by negative energies, negativity, this, the despair, a lack of hope, right? Then obviously you are not going to feel that, you're not going to feel that positivity, right? You're not going to be able to. That's what it shows, the Four of Swords. You are not at rest with yourself, right? That's why it has come out reverse. So you need a lot of rest, a lot of tranquility. And then what's more important over here is, you have this, look at this, you have three Ace, two Ace of Cups, both of them has come out, three Ace, Ace of Cups reversed, Ace of Sword reversed, Ace of Coin, Ace of Sword upright, Ace of Coin reversed. Oh my, right? Ace means beginning. And you have three aces coming up over here. What can be a more clear and louder message than this? That, hey, universe is telling you, hey, enough. Wake up. Go for that new beginning. Go for that, the bright universe out there that's waiting for you. That you have, that's waiting for you. That all the opportunities, all the wonderful opportunities, inspirations, that's waiting for you. Why are you wasting your time? Being so morose, thinking about something that's not going to solve any real purpose to you, or that or that is a closed chapter. It could be a loss, it could be some sort of a terrible grief. And again, look at this card, like Martyr. If this guy, he's like swamped. He's like he's drowned. And if you see over here, you see, I don't know if you can make out, they're like these tiny roses floating all around. What does rose stand for? Rose stand for love. So again, the message, if you see this Ace of Cups also coming out reversed, again this heartache and loss, the message is very clear. You are going through some sort of emotional downtime, some terrible heartache, terrible loss, either because of loss of a departure of some very close one, maybe untimely demise of some close one, someone you loved, right? Or maybe you have been betrayed in your love, right? You have been turned down in your love, right? And that has really set you down. So you have forgotten about life, right? And you feel like that's all there is to life, and that your life ends over here, which is not at all true. So you are drowning in self-pity. You are drowning in that complete lack of inspiration, complete darkness right now. But you need to pull yourself up, because you have this three A's. Oh goddamn, you have three A's. Sorry, this is just terrific. Universe cannot say it much more strongly than this. You have three Ace of Cups, Ace of Sword, Ace of Coins. Clearly showed that you have a new beginning out there. Nothing has ended for you. I know when things when a loved one goes away, or you feel betrayed in love, you feel terrible heartache, you feel terrible sense of loss, and you feel like everything has ended for you. There's nothing for you, to really hope for anymore. I know that. I know how that feeling is. But then trust me, you can get out of that, and that's what I think universe is telling you. Then look at this. You have the sun over here, right? Sun means, your soul, and sun also means prosperity. There's a lot of prosperity waiting out there for you, a lot of things for you to uncover, discover. Again, look at these two cards, what I said. A bright future, right, is waiting for you over there. But you're not looking ahead. Your vision is now turned down in self-pity, right? In utter gloom. But then, you're forgetting. And look over here, you are like this baby, you're like sleeping, ignorant. But the sun is shining on you, right? The light of glory, the light of prosperity, the light of success is shining on you and saying, hey, wake up. And this horse is waiting for you, to take you further ahead. But you are sleeping over here. Look at the beautiful symbology of this picture. This applies aptly for you. right? The horse is there, that will take you to success, that will take you to your life further ahead. So your life has by no means ended. And you are a baby. That means, that also shows that life is just starting for you, and you're already feeling like life is lost. There's no more life for you. That's it for you. No, life hasn't even barely begun for you. And you're sleeping, and the horse is waiting, and the sun is shining, but you're sleeping. You're not really making the use of the opportunity. You're only thinking about the negativities, the loss, and that's what's keeping you busy. So that's why now is the time for you to have more strength. And then you have two strength cards. You have the dignified strength, right? You also have this the Leo. The Leo talks about again that strength, the lion-like spirit, never to give up. Right? In life, sorrows will come. In life, ups and downs will come. That does not mean that the life ends over there for you. And especially for this group, as I said, your life is not even probably begun. This group may be a bunch of youths or people who are still in their youthful state, or still have a lot of things to offer in their life, right? Even in midlife, right? So that's the message for you. Beginning. Again, see the beginning over here. This is sea turtle, beginning, right? Beginning is you have 3 right? Beginning. Life has not ended. It's just the other way for you. Begin. Take the stride. And again, 3 And out of C. So obviously, Ace of Cups stands for love. So obviously, you are down because of matters related to love. So your heart is closed. But then see, Ace of Sword, it's telling you to cut that knot of love, the knot of heart. There's actually a yogic principle that says the knot of heart, and it's very difficult to cut that knot of heart. And I'm not even going that deep. I'm talking about just cutting that knot that is keeping you trapped. Remember what I said over here? That chained, feeling caged, right? That's your own creation. So this Ace of Sword is telling you to cut that knot, and this sword is that insight, that wisdom. That hey, why am I being so unhappy? Yes, okay, fine. It's a loss for me. Yes, it has made me sad. Yes, life will throw curveball at you because you don't know what life will throw at you. But why am I only looking at the negativity? Why am I not ignoring the positivity? I have a bright life out there. I have a lot of potential, a lot of skills. Clearly, there's success over there waiting for me. Clearly, this horse is ready to take me ahead further in my life. Clearly, there's a lot of brightness and inspiration, lot of light out there for me. So not all is pall and gloom for me. So why am I waiting? Why am I not trying to cut this knot and let myself out? I'm also losing out on more love. I'm also losing out on more. See this Ace of Coin. I'm also losing out on a lot of real opportunities in life, in terms of wealth, in terms of maybe future love, in terms of making further deeper connections in life, better relationships, right? Why? That's the one you need to really think about. And again, look at this card. It clearly says round and round, right? You're going round and round and round and round the same thing, right? So you're continuously brooding over the same thing. You are like regurgitating, over the same thing. Sorry, I cannot pronounce that word. Regurgitating. I think I got that hopefully right? You need to come out of that. That's all mental creation. That's all mental blockade that you have. You need to come out of that mental blockade in the rest of 2025. And I think that's why that number 9, as I said, 2025. If you sum it up, number 9 that stands for higher learning. That's what the universe is trying to push you towards. Learn from this and move on, right? Take everything as a step forward to life. Right? Don't get bogged down at one point. Move on. Right? So come out of this self-pity. Don't wallow in keep over here in this ocean of gloom and pall and self-pity, and and come out of that. So again, you have the shark over here. See what's interesting over here. And how universe presents its message in a nice way. You have this sea turtle and you have the shark. Both of them, when you think of both of them, that they are like it involves swimming, and then next to that, it shows you drowned, in that ocean, in that apparent ocean of gloom. What does it mean? Don't feel drowned. You are not even trying to swim against that current. Swim. See, it's a sea turtle, it's swimming. The shark, it's swimming. It's not steady in one place, right? They are both surrounded by that ocean, the same as you, but they are swimming, right? It's saying, go, beginning, self-reliance, journey home. Your home is not there. Your destiny is still not there, right? You are still that baby. You're not making use of that horse. Go forward, move forward. Don't stay stuck in one place. Swim against that, right? Same over here. Trust your instinct to discern the truth of the situation. The truth. The truth is, okay, it's a temporary letdown. It's a temporary setback. It's a temporary grief. Okay, no matter, and I'm not downplaying the grief. Maybe some lost one has, you have lost a loved one, especially in the matters of death and demise. I know how shocking it can be, how painful it can be. But still, life moves on, right? And if it's a matter of love, hey, just move on. Things happen, you feel betrayed, you feel, oftentimes, the loves uh, don't blossom fully. And if something has not meant to be in your life, it is not going to happen. And remember, whatever happens, happens for good. So whoever, has declined your love, or has really moved away from your life, maybe they were never meant to be a part of your life. Maybe there's someone better out there waiting for you. Remember that Ace of Cups coming out reversed. By deciding not to move ahead, but by being so taken down and bogged down, you are not really waiting for that other love to come into your life or other better opportunities in terms of money, in terms of happiness, prosperity. Nothing. Right? That's what you need to really do for the rest of 2025. Deal with the situation, come out of that, go ahead, move ahead, develop that strength inside. And again, if you look at this strength, right, it's showing us stairs leading to a throne. So again, look. If you look at this, and then again, if you look at this picture and this picture, right, and again this Ace of Coin, the Sun card over here. So I get the distinct picture. There's a lot. Life is far from over. Not only that, you haven't even started life in earnest. Your destiny is much higher. Right? Your destiny is much more beautiful, much more prosperous, right? Much more, rich in terms of, relationship, in terms of money, in everything. But you haven't even started ascending the stairs. See, the throne is waiting over there. But you haven't even started ascending the stairs. You're still a baby, right? You're still a baby. So don't let all these opportunities go waste, right? Learn to swim against the tide. Don't give up. You're not even trying to swim against the tide. You've just thoroughly given up. Maybe there is no tide. Right? Maybe life is actually going to work out easier from you from here onwards. But you're not even making the effort. And the other thing is, the spiritual love. This is also very interesting. See, oftentimes what we interpret is love, especially are nothing much more than infatuations, like temporary infatuations. And again, I think if this particular message applies especially for those younger ones, or even people in midlife, we get infatuated often, right? And we go for this, extramarital affairs, or we get obsessed with someone, just by looking at their external beauty, and we feel like when that someone doesn't respond or doesn't reciprocate, we feel like let down, morose, sad, as if life has ended. Forget about it. Nothing like that. It could be an infatuation too, right? Get over it and develop real love. Any attraction we feel towards each other is mostly an attraction driven by more of bodily attractions, right? Driven by desires. That's not real love. The real love is where you feel happy when your loved one is actually feeling happy. No matter if your loved one has moved away from you, but if that person is feeling happy and feeling satisfied with someone else, then you should feel happy that your loved one is feeling happy. That is real love, right? But if you are feeling sad just because someone has moved away from you, and ill thoughts are coming in your mind about that other person, why has that person moved away from me? He or she doesn't deserve any love. Only I can give them that love. That's not real love. That's selfishness. That's why develop, see the spiritual love. This is the real love, where you feel the real love for God or a higher being. And you're prepared to sacrifice yourself for that. No matter how you feel, as long as you know that other person is happy, you feel happy. Right? Develop that also. If you really love some person, and if you're, and if you and you then feel happy that the other person is happy. If the other person is feeling happy by moving away from you, then fine. Maybe there's a better person waiting for you out there, right? But you're not even trying right now. So come out of that, and again, see the no. It's round and no. Definitely, the universe is saying an affirmative no. The current approach to your life is wrong. Come out of that. Don't go round and round. Go beating around the same bush. Come out of this thought process, this negativity, right? Heal yourself. Listen to good music, like sound healing. Maybe listen to good music. Maybe practice, chanting some names, divine name. You have spiritual love over here. So maybe taking some spiritual disciplines like chanting or meditating can help. Turn your focus towards God. So turn your focus from this so-called selfish love to the real love. Right? That can also, take away your sorrow. So this is very important, right? So you are, I think, right now being totally gone in the wrong direction, by doing that, you're neglecting all that is bright and good for you, all the success, all the happiness that universe has preserved for you. And finally, I come to this charms that I picked up for you before the reading, right? Again, random. But if you see, first of all, this one, the key. The universe has that key. You are not even trying to pick up that key and unlock your destiny, right? This key, you're not not even trying to pick up this key and unlock the destiny over here. Your destiny is still like locked because you're still a baby. You haven't even started progressing on that journey. You haven't even started progressing on that journey. So pick up that key. The key is right in your hand, but you're ignoring that key. And then once you pick up the key, then start charging ahead. See this reindeer? Start charging ahead. Ready to charge ahead. See, smile. It's all happiness. It's all, nothing has, okay, it's a temporary setback, as I have been telling you again and again. But life is more joyful. There's joy out there. There's vibrancy out there. There's inspiration out there. Right? There's brightness, a light out there. Right? It's all happy. Nothing has, it's a temporary setback. Move on. Come out of the infatuation. Even if you have lost a love life, in a loved one, get over it. Be strong. Move on. See the leaf. This leaf, and this leaf has so much potential. That means it's like the universe is sending a leaf down, a green leaf. Which the universe is telling you, a leaf. I take this as a sign of life. A tree, to me, is a sign of life. A greenness is a sign of life, right? So the universe is like sending a leaf to you. Means this sign of life. You have so much life within you. You have so much life out there for you to explore. So take that opportunity. And finally, the cat. Cat sounds, when I think of cats are generally taken as, wise animals. So develop that inner wisdom. And again, number 9, remember, learn from the experience and move on. Try to swim. There's a lot of success, lot of opportunity, lot of better, maybe relationships are out there. Someone maybe better who's waiting to come, step into your life, but you're ignoring all that, right? So develop yourself, come out of that obsession or that self-pity, right? Turn your vision outward. See what all you have been ignoring. Don't stay. Try to swim. Make some effort to come out of the situation. Get over that mental blockage. How you're thinking over the same thing again and again and again. Listen to good music. Go for a walk. Meditate, and again, practice some chanting or japa. Where that will help you realize the divine love, the real nature of love. And again, as I said, the real nature of love will also make you happy, because in that nature, when you feel that real love, then okay, whether you feel satisfied or fulfilled, or if a loved one, walks away from you, is not with you, but as long as you know, okay, yes, he or she is happy, wherever they are, whatever they are doing, as long as I know they are happy, I am happy, right? This is real love. Real love, grows through sacrifice. Real love goes through that understanding that, okay, that in inner contentment, inner fulfillment, okay, that my loved one is happy, right? Think about the life of Krishna and the life of gopis and Gopal. I don't know if how many of you are aware of Lord Krishna and his pastimes in Vrindavan. If you get an opportunity, read Bhagavatam, read about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, read about the gopis' lives. They were sad at one when Krishna left Mathura, right? But at the same time, they were happy knowing that their Lord is happy. Wherever he is, wherever in whichever condition he is, he's happy. And he is out there, he's gone out there to fulfill his duties, right? So they are happy, at least, they were sad, but still they were happy. They were content knowing that their loved one, he has come to fulfill his duties, so he's doing his duties and we are not holding him back, right? We are not keeping him trapped. That made them satisfied. So I hope you would take this lesson to heart, group number 2, and come out of this situation and make the better use of the rest of 2025. And again, it's for you, your bright opportunity, prosperity, happiness. Lot of things are waiting out there for you to explore. So thank you once again for listening to this, and hope you will work upon this message. I'll see you in a later reading. For now, bye. Hey, group number 3, for those of you who have chosen this Howlite crystal, we'll see what's in store for you for the rest of 2025. And again, I may have said this in the introduction, but regardless, I'm going to say this again. 2025, is it's numerologically translates to number 9, right? So number 9 signifies deep learning, not deep learning as in AI, but deep learning or higher learning that really makes you stronger, that makes you wiser, that really shows life to you or presents life to you for what it is and brings out inner wisdom, right? That really helps you grow and become stronger and become wiser, right? So that's a very interesting. That's why this is a very critical year, and and again, just like when you, how do you learn something? You learn something when you have gone through some trouble, when you have gone through some turbulence, when you have gone through some ups and downs, and you have come out of that, unscathed, or even if some damage has happened, but still, even in that damage, even in that sorrow, even in that defeat, there is a message for you that's going to help you in your journey forward, right? So the life is not ending there for you. That's what's important. But there was a setback of some sort, and you are moving ahead, learning from that lesson, so as not to repeat that mistake, and and so that you can go. Your journey forward becomes all the more better and all the more fruitful. Why I'm saying this, all this is because, again, just like with the other 2 groups, even this group talks about a different kind of challenge and how that challenge is meant to make you stronger and wiser, right? So I think for this group, the challenge has been more of like some enmity, some misguidance, some case of envy, and something to do with some people around you who don't have your best interest in their heart, and who have been trying to maybe like damage you some way by or harm your reputation by or harm you, or cause monetary and loss of your peace, loss of your prosperity, right? So this is the card that first draws my mind, right? That draws my eyes, right? You see this rat. It's the rat. This particular symbology of rat is also used in common lingo, right? So when you say I have don't rat someone out, That means, don't snitch against someone, or so. And it says over here, someone is walking against you behind your back. So someone doesn't have your best interest in their mind. They may put on a false a mask showing apparent friendship, but they don't have your best interest in their mind. Now this, and then you also have this card, judge. This came from the archetypal deck, right? Now in here, in general, what I do with such card, if they come out reverse, then I go for the shadow attributes, and if they come out upright, then I go for the light attribute. Now, in your case, since this card has come out reverse, so obviously the shadow attribute is something that I want to go for first, and it says it's a judge. Now, a judge is supposed to give out fair judgment, right? Just rulings. But in this case, if you look at the shadow attribute, it says offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. Right? That means this is someone, and then if you look at this rat, someone who's walking against you behind your back by misguiding you, or giving you offering only criticism, and by doing that, sapping your energy. Maybe it could be your boss, it could be some of your near and dear, some near and dear ones, someone in some authoritative position. In some cases, maybe your parents, maybe your better half, maybe some of your colleagues, some again some in office, someone who's in a position of leadership or authority, your boss, as I said before, who is continuously criticizing you, who's not providing you the best judgment, right? And they're misusing their position. See, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority, misusing their position to mete out some destructive treatment to you, some unfair treatment to you, right? And it could be also your relatives. So that's one aspect, and definitely you are being faced with people. Then you also have this before tarot. This is come from the before tarot, the 5 of Wands. Now before tarot basically shows the state of affairs before what is shown in the traditional tarot deck. So if you look at the traditional tarot deck, the 5 of Wands shows a state of apparent conflict, where a bunch of people, what it looks like, they are engaged in some sort of a fight over here. But in before tarot, so the actual tarot shows that it's like it's apparently some conflict that's already very much in progress. That's right, and where you have already bear the brunt of it, most of it, and it's about to be over, right? Before tarot, it's showing that it's just beginning, right? And you're in the midst of it. So by looking at this, what it's trying to tell you is that you're almost over this situation. You have already gone through most of these negativities, most of this enmity, and you have already paid the price for this. You have already borne the brunt of it. So the worst is in a way over. That's the bottom line, right? So the worst is in a way over for you out of this. And I think that's why your card starts with material and spiritual prosperity, right? So that's why this is very important. What it starts with. It starts by saying that the rest of 2025 will be a time for you to recover. Will be a time for you to recoup your loss, recoup your mental peace, recoup your prosperity. Recoup any loss of face or any loss of respect that you may have had because of all these people walking behind your back, trying to bring you down materially, financially, mentally, in terms of your prestige, your name and fame, whatever it is. But now it's time for you to get back that material and spiritual prosperity, right? So it's a time of hope. And what's good about you is, and I think so far this group has been a little unique. Other two groups, the group number 1 and group 2 that I have done so far, has shown a lot of cards reversed. Reverse means something that's already, that's, again, you're not really manifesting the full effect of that card, right? And there's some work needs to be done. But in your case, if you see, barring this card, all your cards have come out upright. All your cards, which is a very positive sign. That means, and again, this card coming out reverse is actually, as I said, is actually pointing in the right direction in a way. But all your cards coming out upright, that means again, you have gone through the worst. Worst is behind you. Now is the time for you to look ahead, right? And again, be wise from this situation. Learn wise from this situation. How? And again, in some cases, there could be an actual legal judgment, because I see judge and I see a judgment card. In some case, there could be an actual judgment that has come out in favor of you, right? So maybe some people maybe there was some property dispute or some other dispute where people may have entangled you in some legal litigations and all. And this is the period where you're going to probably, the judgment will come out in your favor, validating your position, validating your name and fame, and you're going to come out better, and it will be a firm, and this will be a firm rebuttal, to your enemies, right? And definitely, I see again the Five of Pentacles shows in a state of sorrow, right? Because obviously, what you have gone through has not been very pleasant, has been very hard, right? Again, a state of tumult, a state of conflict that can rob your mental peace, rob your mental sanity, right? And again, the good thing is it's all your cards have come out positive, all your cards have come out upright, right? And if you look at this one, it's clearly showing penguin, right? It's clearly showing over here what I just said. The period of darkness that you have been experiencing is now passing. So you're already at the fag end of it. Yes, you have gone through a lot of stuff, and this has been the case in 2025 for a lot of people. 2025, again, if you look at it, the number 9, the number, as I said at the very beginning, that's why I kind of went over that brief introduction, especially in your case, because how you learn only through, unless you have faced something, you're not going to learn what it means, right? So only after you have gone through a situation, you come out wiser. You know how to not to repeat that situation and be more aware. But if you have never experienced that situation, you're not going to learn from it, right? So in your case also, now that you have gone through this situation, you will obviously learn, be more careful, and now you will learn to be more aware of, who are your true friends and who are not. And I also see that going forward, your life is also blessed, right? So this is another good thing. Not only you're going to be able to recoup your material and spiritual prosperity, in the next of 2025, it also shows another aspect of it. Yes, you have been harmed, you have been brought down by people, by one or more people. Yes, so far you may have seen the wrong face of friendship, wrong face of relationship, wrong face of leadership, in your home, office, or any other social environment. But there are also people out there who are prepared to help you, right? See, I see a lot of caring, right? A lot of people extending helping hand, right? So that's also very important, right? So it's important to recognize the true friends and recognize the one and separate them out from the ones, who are really walking behind your back. And I think going through this experience will really help you do that. Better distinguish your friends from foes, right? And that's the kind of transformation is being talked about, right? That's why it says transformation, a change, a positive change. Again, you becoming more wise, and now that you have left the worst behind, now for you to go ahead and manifest your fullest potential, and having that judgment in your favor, right? But what I left, in the middle is that you are also blessed. So not only having the fortune of having good friendship, people who really care about you, people who really have your best interest in their mind. I also feel a divine blessing in a way, because it clearly says blessed over here. But you also have this one. See the Vesta, the heart. It's like a holy fire. So you are like that holy fire, you are like the spirit who's like protected. See this heart around, right? It's protecting this fire. So you may have some blessings, maybe some blessings of your parents, maybe some blessings of some, maybe your guru, your spiritual master, maybe some blessings of your past karma that has protected you. So even in the most adverse situation, where people may have tried to let you, bring you down, you know, cause harm to you financially, or or rob your sanity, rob your mental peace, cause damage to your name and fame. Even there, even in the worst of cases, you are blessed. You are protected. That's very important, right? That's why this can also show that that you are protected. That there's all, yes, you have faced adverse situation. Yes, you have seen the worst of friendship or worst of relationship, or anything. At the same time, don't forget that there's also that helping hand that's protecting you, right? And that divine, that blessing that's protecting you. Some karmic, as I said again, the karmic effect, or blessings of maybe some in past life, if you have served some holy people, or even in this life, if you have served some holy people, your master, or if you have served your parents, their blessings, that can go a long way protecting. And how that's going to manifest, obviously, no matter how down and out you feel, you're going to come out of that eventually, right? And eventually you will also see other opportunities, people coming up, because such blessings walks through, such blessings cannot work in vacuum, right? They need a medium. So you will probably see other people coming up with some opportunities out of all of a sudden, different doorways opening up, other people offering helping hands, right? That's one thing. So that's why this two of one, see, this two phase. That's why okay, this is what I was referring to earlier, right? Okay, keep your past very much in your mind, right? Don't forget your past experiences, right? That's going to help you, but also at the same time, this is the time for you to turn your focus towards your future. So learn from the past, use your past experiences to be a better judge of who to associate with, and how to choose your friends as you are looking ahead in your future, right? So again, the kind of association you keep, kind of people, and so now that you know the true face of some people, stay away from them. Stay away from some all such similar natured people, right? But at the same time, also you will have other good friendship, and also you will have this other, most importantly, the blessing, right? That's always there with you, right? And again, so and at the same time, stay away from, don't be too headstrong in making any decision, because in the past that's also may have led you to trouble, right? Getting into some risky business, maybe in associating with people who you should have been better aware of, but maybe being impulsive, not thinking through everything. You went with people, you associated with people who clearly were out to harm you, right? But now that you have learned that experience, now you need to be a little wise about that. And so no more risky things, no more being headstrong about something. Think everything properly, learn to distinguish friends from foes, learn from your past experiences, right? But again, change. So that is what, that your past situation will help you now change and transform and be much more wiser, right? And at the same time, but that's what's important. So you're definitely coming out of that worst, and you're coming out stronger, you're coming out wiser. You're now facing that that more hope, positive hope, and more abundance going forward. And definitely there will be a divine hand, I think some sort of a blessing, as I said, that's going to manifest through some actual associations in real life, right? But again, don't be headstrong. And I think this meditation kind of can help, because meditation or any kind of healing process can really help you ground your energy, so that you are more patient, you are more calm, you are more wiser, and you don't repeat that past mistakes that you may have done because of sudden impulse, being prone to taking such making risky judgments. risk is good in life. Sometimes risk can work out good for you, because rather than being living a very stagnant state life, sometimes risk is good. But at the same time, even that risk should be calculated risk, and only taken with friends who you fully trust, right? Otherwise, it can work to your disadvantage, and that's what you need to keep in mind. Very much learning from your past. Now, again, I had picked up certain charms that, as I've been doing for all the other groups, for this group also ahead of this reading, because I didn't want to delay the process. But again, random. I just picked them out of a pool of charms, and this is what I got for you. Like, a couple of important things. You see, you have the star card. You have the star and the, sorry, I keep saying card. You have the star as well as the crown, right? This is a very positive sign, because star talks about hope, inspiration. So again, you're looking forward to new hope and inspiration and material prosperity. And crown obviously talks about success, right? Whenever you see a crown, you think about king. Means strong, not only success, but being strong from past experiences, being more mature. A king have to be more mature. A king cannot make any impulsive judgment. A true king has to think about his subject, what's better for his country, the kingdom. So think wisely, be strong, and at the same time be inspired about life. You also have this one, this thunder. Now thunder and this paw, right? Now you can, when I look at both of them together, it again talks about, that divine protection, because, thunder, you can think about some sort of a divine judgment coming to you, right? It can also, thunder also can mean whatever you have gone through, that comes as a destructive force that was out there to bring you down, but you've already gone through that, most of it at least, right? And this paw talks about the protection, because in a lot of ancient cultures, they interpret such paws, as some protection, because when you see such paw prints, you think about animals, right? It can be a dog, cat, or a bear, or anything, and that bonding between an animal, and a human, the pet and the master, that's one of protection and guidance, right? So in this case, it can talk about the divine protection and guidance, that I've already talked about before, right? And finally, this bike. This bike talks about movement. So basically, that living that past and then moving on from that, and again learning from that, right? So that's what this two-face means. Right? Look ahead in the future. Don't linger in the past. Look ahead. At the same time, have a face turned backwards, not in the sense that you're tied to the past, but definitely keeping that past lessons in your mind, so that the mistakes from the past are not repeated, right? And finally, you have this orangutan card. It talks about that laughter, curiosity, patience, play, right? So again, learn to laugh again. You have come out of the worst. Right? For the rest of 2025, the worst is over, right? It's going to slowly. Maybe you may not see the full impact of that when you are seeing this reading, and depending on when you are seeing this reading, at what point of the 2025. But definitely, I sense that as 2025 unfolds, you're going to go over this conflict situation more and more, and eventually the judgment will be in favor. It will also make you much more stronger and wiser. You have a divine blessing that is kind of protecting you, which is the most important thing. So you may feel down and out, but you will still come up. Like, you will still stand in your faith. And as I said, the most positive thing is that divine protection, the blessing that's clearly coming out, and the very fact that I don't see any reverse card except for this one. So mostly it's a positivity. It's positive sign, right? That things were on the downturn, but things are now coming up, right? And again, the charms, as I just discussed, right? The crown, the star, the strength, being strong, learning from the past, being much more wiser, not getting into making rash decisions or going headlong into something, especially with wrong associations, being careful about the associations that you make, right? So I think, again, whatever helps you, obviously the experience has been a big teacher for you, but at the same time, stuff like meditating, being calm, being patient, that will also help ground your energy, so that you, in the future, when you are planning and you are moving ahead, you choose your friends wisely, you make your decisions wisely, right? And you don't repeat those same mistakes that have led to bad associations, impulsive decisions, and this loss, right? So that's the change that he's talking about. So that change will also is already in progress, and it's going to definitely help you become a much more stronger and wiser and much more mature person going forward. So I think that's all I have. Group number 3. Hopefully, this resonated with you, and if it does, don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know. I'll see you in another reading in the future. For now, lots of good wishes. Thank you so much. Bye. Hey, group number 4. For those of you who have chosen this clear quartz, this will be your reading. We'll see what sort of message the rest of 2025 holds for you, what you need to be aware of for the rest of 2025. And as I have been telling all the groups, and I may have said this in the introduction itself, 2025 is a very powerful year. You may be already seeing a lot of changes happening around the world. It's all about, it signifies number 9, as you can make out from the numerology, and number 9 stands for higher learning. And in your case, it's especially significant because you also have the 9th house in your reading. That's again 9. So it's all about taking note of what life is trying to tell you and acting upon that, so that we don't make the same mistake again and again, and we can improve our life. It's about turning a new page, taking lessons from whatever life is trying to teach us, in our own life and through the surrounding. So that now in your case, it's very critical that you take note of this, whatever I think universe is communicating, trying through me. I hope I can be I can try to do justice to this, and I can be the good conduit for this, because this is a group that needs to kind of pay attention to their life and do something about this. I feel like this is a group that is suffering from some deep issues, some that requires healing. This is a group that's suffering from some deep insecurities, and some strong, some fear, some apprehension, and some deep-rooted, again, insecurities. And you are the kind of people who are probably, who feel more comfort, or who draws comfort from isolation and seclusion, but for the wrong reason. There's one isolation that is good, where you are trying to detach yourself from the world to find the higher truth and to connect with the something much more superior, something much more deeper. That detachment is good, right? Where but even in that detachment, our masters tell us to be active, be calmly active, or be active while being detached. So basically, do all your duties in the world, fulfill all your responsibilities, fulfill all your duties, but at the same time be internally detached. So that's a different kind of detachment. Whereas in your case, I feel like it's your sense of insecurity, it's your sense of some reservation, some hesitation, internal hesitation, some fear of facing probably negative judgments, and what you're probably maybe too perceptive of what others are likely to say about you. Maybe some very sensitive souls, who feel comfort, in coiling inside a shell. And so if you see this top row, right, and this is, I think, a lot of the cards have come out reversed over here, right? And if you start from this one, I actually will get to this one later on, little later. If you see this patience card, right, reversed, you see the 10 of sword reversed, you see the 8 of cup reversed, you see the star reversed, You have over here the vulnerability card reversed, in reverse. I feel like because of some family pressure, some fear of negative judgment. I think, if you look at this card, this is the archetype card. And again, generally for this kind of cards, if it comes out upright, I look at the light attributes more. If it comes out reversed, I look at the shadow attributes more. Since in your case it has come out reversed, it talks about hermit. So obviously, you have some hermit-like tendencies. Now, since it is reversed, so in a way, being a hermit is in a way good, right? It takes you to something higher, as I said. But since it has come out reversed, so if you look at the shadow attributes, it says withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgment of others, refusing to help those in need. Right. So you are like almost, that's what I was saying earlier, right? You are feeling secure, in your tiny cocoon, and you don't want to go out, step out in the world, out of these deep-seated insecurities, reservations, apprehensions, fear of negative judgment of others. Now, again, this could have been caused by maybe harsh judgments from your family, maybe from your parents, maybe too much of peer pressure, maybe some incidents, with regard to your childhood, or another thing is, you may be, someone who's trying to walk on the spiritual path, but you are getting it wrong. That's what I said. You are trying to probably overly detach yourself, without understanding that, while you're living in this world, there's a need for you to do your duties, perform your responsibilities. And that's what I was saying earlier. You cannot escape from the duties. Spirituality is not about escaping from duties. Spirituality is actually, on the contrary, about being more active in this world, doing your duties, stepping forward wherever needed, but at the same time maintaining an inner detachment. Right? Now, so if you look at, for example, this card, the wisdom card, or the patience, right? So it has come out reversed. The Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords clearly talks about, a lot of, insecurities, a lot of stagnation, a lot of sorrow, right? But it talks about a new life also. It talks about whatever, leaving behind that old chapter and turning a new leaf, right? But in your case, it's come out reversed. So you're not being able to turn that new leaf for some reason. The Eight of Cups, again, it talks about walking away, right? Walking away. In your case, you are, but at the same time, you are not looking at all these full cups, right? In your case, it's like, you need to come back, right? So it's a question of missed opportunities. It's a question of not being able to turn a new leaf, and it's a question about being, not being able to close the past and move on. And again, if you look at the star card, the lack of inspiration, and if you see this lady, she has her hair, dipping in the water. Now, water talks about calmness. Water talks about, that mind, inner peace, right? It's a calm water. So obviously you're lacking that inner calm, and so as a result, you are missing out on all that inspiration. And obviously, for no surprise over here, you also have the moon card. Now the moon stands for mind, right? I have a hard time picking this card up from here. Sorry. Yeah. Moon talks about mind, right? And your moon is clouded. That means your mind is clouded, right? That means your mind is confused. Your mind is, there's a lot of inner negative energies, a lot of inner apprehensions, hesitations, anxieties, which could have come from different reasons, as I said before. Maybe your childhood, maybe too much of peer pressure, maybe it's just your inner nature, being too sensitive, right? Being too scared of judgments, of harsh judgments, and ready to. But the problem is, that's why it's affecting your overall growth. Now, what you need to do, I feel like, it could be. I feel like it could be the current setting. I get a strong feeling that it's your current setting. It's either that household environment, your near and dear ones, wherever you are. It feels like that's where the ambience around you or the setting around you somehow is having a negative grip on you, right? And it's making you feel suffocated. If so, even if you feel like moving away, you are not being able to move away. So that's why if you now I'm going to come to this wisdom card, right? You see, I think there's a lot of conflict happening both inside and outside your world. Obviously, in your inner conflict, and somehow it may be manifesting outside with others, or the inner conflict may be a result of that outer conflict. As I said, again, because of maybe too much of peer pressure, too much of negative judgment, too much of aspersions thrown at you. Somehow, your environment, your ecosystem, current ecosystem is not helping you, is not conducive to your growth, and you need to move away. So that's why if you see the wisdom card, it says, this man is looking behind as if, he's like moving away, right? And he's moving away from this household, and by doing so, he's this is actually an act of wisdom. So moving away from that environment, moving away from that house or that that strangulating environment that you are finding yourself right now, that is what I think you are being advised to do. Move away from that negative setting, right? That's not helping you in your growth. And by doing that, that may be the wise thing to do for you right now, right? And by doing that, actually, you may be able to do a lot of good to yourself. So why I say this is because you also have this ninth house, right? As I was pointing to earlier. And again, the ninth house talks about higher learning, higher education. It talks about special trips. It talks about pilgrimages, right? It talks about overall spiritual development, right? So it talks about long distance journeys. So if you look at this, and if you look at this, you are being definitely encouraged to step out. And then you have also this card, the wood, right? It talks about growth, connection, support, renewal. Now, what's more important over here is if you see, you have this cavernous, rock, and out of these rocks, these things are like coming out. These leaves are coming out, or these seeds are sprouting, right? There's two things are important. Couple of things are important, deeply symbolical from this, from this card. See, one is you are being obviously asked to step out, or come out of these caves, or these chambers, come out of your cloister. Secondly, there is no apparent soil over here. It's all like barren rock. Even from this barren rock, you are seeing green emerging, right? That tells me that, again, the setting where you find yourself right now, that is not conducive to growth. It is proving very negative to your growth, to your overall well-being, right? But you are still encouraged to grow from that environment. Though even your environment may not be nurturing, even then you are being encouraged to grow. And how you can grow? By coming out of that, setting. But definitely you can grow. So you are the kind. So the good thing is, you have two King of Wands. You have a King of Wands over here. Then you also have the Emperor. This is coming from the Before Tarot deck. So Before Tarot basically shows the state of affairs before what you find normally in a regular tarot deck, right? So I will come to this a little later, but the fact is, you have an Emperor card and you have the King card, right? So definitely that means you are capable of stability. You are capable of doing something grand. You are capable of reaching that position of wisdom. See, that's why the wisdom card has also come. These are all good signs. But then to be able to do that, there may be a strong need for you to disregard the current environment, negative association. And the way you can do that is by moving away from that place. Moving away from that place, or moving away from those associations, right? and that may need some long distance travel. So it could also be that you may grow, you may thrive, in a foreign land, right? Uh, staying where you are definitely is not going to do it for you, and it's not doing it for you because of any reason that I just mentioned earlier, right? So that's what's very important. Also the other thing is stop thinking too much. Stop, being the subject of too much peer pressure. Develop inner confidence, and uh, see this is another card that has come out reversed, right? This is the yin card. This is talks about the yin, and it's part of the yin and yang energy, right? So yin is the female energy. What are female energy? Mainly the female energy talks about nurturing, loving, caring, energies. Those subtle energies. And again, this coming out reverse means, there's a lack of that love, that nurturing environment around you and in you. Somehow, again, this coming out directly below this card, barrenness, right? You are growing up, or you are currently finding yourself in a place that is barren, where there's little love, little caring for you. No one is probably caring for you. Little compassion around you, right? So that's why definitely you need to move away from that place, right? That is not doing good for you. And again, next to that card, you have this one, the vulnerability and freedom. Again, this has also come out reversed. Again, same thing, right? So you are feeling yourself vulnerable, and it's coming out reversed means again that lack of freedom. It's a very constricted, very restrictive environment. And I deeply sympathize with you guys, but I'm getting again and again that same picture that wherever you are, because of the place or because of the people in that place, or because of other circumstances, whatever it is, this is stifling your growth. Right? It's stifling you becoming who you are. Maybe too much of family control, maybe too much of conservative mindsets, maybe too much of lack of opportunities, maybe peer pressure. Maybe you are part of I don't know, maybe 10 siblings, right? And you are one who no one really pays much attention to, right? Or maybe you are growing up in a very remote part of a country where there's just absolute lack of opportunity. Whatever it is, and it could be a combination of these different things, right? But definitely you have potential, but you are not being able to turn the new leaf, turn the new page, right? You have opportunities waiting, but you are just not being able to make use of them. That's why your life feels like devoid of inspiration right now, right? Confused mind, a lot of negative energies, and there's no surprises over there, right? Because whoever grows up, if your surrounding is not conducive, then that's what you're going to see. But the good things, right? Good thing is, as I said, you have two king cards. That means you have the capabilities, right, to reach that position of strength, to reach that position of stability, right? Now I'll come to this Emperor card, right? This is the before state of the typical tarot Emperor card, right? In the regular tarot deck, you will see this Emperor firmly seated in the throne, but here it's showing the state prior to that. So here you are still yet to reclaim your rightful position. You are yet to claim your rightful seat, throne. That means this throne is meant for you. That means you have some capabilities, but you're yet to get there. And also, you see, he's carrying this lamb over here. Feels like a sacrificial lamb. So again, what's a sacrificial lamb? You are considering yourself to be like a sacrificial lamb, who's being asked to sacrifice, his or her dreams, aspirations, again, because of maybe family pressure, because of maybe too much of family obligations, duties, negativities, right? So you're feeling like a sacrificial lamb. You're like continuously sacrificing your wishes, and that's what you have become used to. So that's why you've forgotten about yourself, right? Right. That's what it shows over the sacrificial lamb, which was the other card that I meant to point to. Right. Anyway, I'm forgetting about that. But so I think, but and again that brings me back to this card, right? So again, that's why you're withdrawing from society out of fear of negative judgment and others, right? And but but the positivity is again, as I said, you have two king cards. You are meant to but once you walk away from that environment, you are you will become much more wiser and mature, and you will reach your destiny, right? Because again, if you look at this card, the patience card, right, there's definitely something that's waiting to sprout, from your hand. What does that mean? That means you are meant to create something, you're meant to do something. There's some creative power inside you that is not growing because of that environment, because of that lack of nurturing environment, right? So that moving away is definitely important. And it also talks about the Leo, right? So Leo spirit. So again, it talks about the strength. Leo is all about strength, the inner resilience. You also have this card, the Cardinal. Now, see, this is a very interesting card, right? It talks about the polarities of your spiritual pursuits and physical pleasure are out of balance. So do whatever is necessary to bring them back into equilibrium. I'll read this again. The polarities of your spiritual pursuits and physical pleasure are out of balance. So do whatever is necessary to bring them back into equilibrium. Now, why will you say that? Why will we have a card like this that talks about that apparent, like a bipolar world? One side, you are trying to be spiritual, you are running behind spiritual pursuits, whereas on the other side, you're also seeking physical pleasures. I don't know, for some of you, at least I would say that there could be a scenario where, you are, again, you are growing up in a household that is of very orthodox, the holds very conservative values, where you are being forced to, walk on some spiritual paths. But the problem with that is, if you are forced to do anything, if it doesn't come out of your own inner wish, your own inner aspiration, then walking on that path will not take you anywhere. Right now, it seems like you are being forced to. So, I think on one hand, you want to explore the world. You have some other hidden ambitions, hidden aspirations. On the other side, that is all being carved, or being suppressed because of some people forcing you to walk on a different path. So you are like almost like trying to, that inner lack of balance. That's one scenario. Another scenario could be, this can be self-inflicted, right? So for example, you still have a lot of unfulfilled ambitions, hidden desires, and you have somehow maybe you have got this inspiration to walk on a spiritual path, and but there are maybe a lot of worldly aspirations that you are yet to fulfill, right? So you are being asked to carefully balance these two worlds, right? Because you cannot you cannot balance yourself on two boats, right? You have to choose one or the other. Now, again, as I said before, if you are truly seeking to be spiritual, again, there will be some physical, some desires, still inherent in your mind, and you cannot force them out. That then, the best way to, take care of that is, by transforming yourself, by developing divine love, by developing love for God, by developing love for your master. That true love can erase, slowly, gradually remove all remaining physical or desires. So that's one thing that I think it's coming out a little strange, right? But otherwise, if you see, again, it's a strong message to come out. And finally, before I go even further, I think, so now if you look at these charms, right? I have picked up, just like every other group, I picked up some charms for you through a random, picking up from charms from my charms bowl. I'll first go through this one. This is called the hand of in Fatima, or the healing hand, or the hand of Buddha. Sometimes people say it's very significant. This shows divine protection. That means you are protected, right? And there is some Not only this, even this, this is a four-leaf clove leaf. Even this is a four-leaf clove. This also shows divine protection, right? You also have this one. This is this is the cherry blossom charm. This also talks about somehow divine protection and renewal, right? That plus, you have this tree. This is the tree of life. The way I read it, this is the tree of life. All this is telling you that, have faith in yourself. You may find yourself in a very dark spot, or in a very stagnant area right now. But know this, that life is not over for you. There's a divine protection. Your life is set to renew. There's renewal guaranteed for you, right? So for the rest of 2025, and you keep this in mind and try to move away from that area. And then again, as you see, you have the capability to grow even in the most adverse of conditions. That just shows, your inner resilience, your spirit. But you just need to move away. Right? And again, this talks about sprouting. Even this talks about something sprouting from your hand. Right? Again, I think this is a group of of some creators of some sort of. So you have the capability to create something. It can be anything. It can be poetry, music, art, maybe a company, maybe anything that needs creation, right? Anything. And then you have this peace sign. So this is a peace sign. Obviously, we all are aware of this sign, the peace. So you have the peace. You have this four-leaf clove. This clove leaf. You have this, the cherry blossom. You have the tree of life. You have the hand of, Buddha. The healing hand. This is also called healing hand. This all talks about renewal. It all talks about blessing. It all talks about protection, right? So have faith in yourself. Have faith in the divine. Move away. And then finally, this one talks about, this is it's like a wheel, right? And again, this wheel also talks about renewal. Times change. Where you are finding yourself right now because of, your birth or, some other situation that may have been beyond your control. Things will change, and so if possible, move away from there and things will change. Renewal is guaranteed for you, right? So, and then again, I know the situation is tough. That's why, I think, meditation, especially for people like you, can give a lot of inner help, get a lot of inner clarity, which may be needed, because again, if you yourself have a confused mind, because of, again, those kind of negative comments and negative judgments and all, then that may not help, right? So to get inner clarity, connect with the universe, meditate, right? And then you will be able to one day, claim the rightful throne that belongs to you, right? So you are an emperor. You are someone very wise, someone capable of reaching great heights. But again, I don't blame you. I really feel sorry for you. But at the same time, think about the good things, right? So because the divine protection, renewal is guaranteed. The tree of life, right? Which talks about, again, it's out there. The life is out there in front of you, right? You haven't explored the life yet, right? So go out there. Don't feel broken. Don't feel like, down and out. So I think that's all I have for you. Group number 4. Again, it's not an enviable place you find yourself in, but what's important is that 9th house, you get in the 9th house, and this year being 9, right? So there's a strong emphasis on you learning and going for a longer journey, maybe a spiritual journey, maybe a pilgrimage of self-discovery, where you will discover, the self-discovery, journey of self-discovery. Maybe in some cases, as I said, your growth in foreign land. And if you're really into spirituality, again, that spiritual pilgrimage, going on a pilgrimage may help get some inner clarity. In some cases, may also help you connect with, with your master, right? So, yeah, so think about what I said, and I hope, this kind of resonates with you, and, you find your path. And all the best for you, group number 4. For now, thank you.